All right, so we are rounding out 2025. It's coming to a close, which means 2026 is on the horizon, and it's going to be a wild year for Bay Area real estate. Unpredictable, in fact. But here's the good news. You don't need to predict the entire market. You just need to watch 3 key areas to determine what is going to move the needle and how that will impact any decisions you're making, whether it comes to buying or selling real estate. So today I'm going to break down the 3 key areas that I'm watching most closely for 2026 real estate in the Bay Area, what they mean for buyers, and ultimately how you can get ahead of the curve instead of just reacting to the headlines like everybody else will. But before I do that, let me quickly reintroduce myself. My name is Arjun Dhingra. I have been in the mortgage industry for 24 years, most of those years right here in the San Francisco Bay Area market, helping thousands of families and individuals acquire real estate by making smart decisions with their mortgage debt. Now, if I can be of help to you in any way, whether it comes to putting down your own roots and owning your own place to live in here, or if you want to acquire property for income producing purposes, please reach out to me, whether it's through Instagram at Arjun Mortgage or via email, arjun@lendclear.com. And my team and I would be honored to help you in any way we can. Appreciate you watching. Thanks for liking this video and subscribing to our channel. And let's get into today's topic. Okay, so let's start with the first area, which is the return of actual hiring in tech. Specifically AI. 2025 was the year of building the infrastructure, models, chips, data centers, research and development, everything behind the scenes. But 2026 is when these companies start needing humans again. I know, crazy concept. Companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Meta, and a dozen growing AI labs are entering their commercialization phase. This phase requires customer teams, compliance, engineering support, product teams, sales, marketing, legal, not just a room of PhDs and server racks. SF office leasing quietly bottomed out in about 2024 to early 2025, but now we're seeing early signs of absorption again. And guess what? High income hires tend to want to live near each other and near work and near good food and walkable neighborhoods. So what does this mean for real estate? The same thing that it's meant in every tech cycle here in San Francisco for the last 25 years. More demand at the same time that supply is still frozen. Think San Francisco, the Peninsula, South Bay, all the usual suspects. So this is not anything to overthink, guys. When companies hire, home prices rise. It's basically Newton's 4th law. Okay, now on to the second thing that I'm paying closest attention to, and this one's actually most important, and that is the inventory shock. That means one of 2 things is gonna happen here in 2026, and both are equally big. The first scenario is that the mortgage rate environment continues to decline, and the Fed continues cutting their key interest rates. What will end up happening here is that you'll see a meaningful dip in mortgage rates, which means more people will enter the market. Locked-in sellers will finally unlock, move-up buyers will return to the market, and you will see listings increase anywhere between 10 and 20% here in the Bay Area. So this is the healthy version of 2026 in this scenario. More supply, more transactions, and more opportunities for you as a buyer. Then there is the other scenario B, which is that things stall out. The Fed doesn't make any more aggressive cuts because maybe inflation has crept back in, or they're just not quite sure of what's going to happen with the labor markets, and mortgage rates kind of flatten out. So with those sticky rates, you have sellers who end up freezing. Inventory stays painfully low, and that's already a problem here in the Bay Area. And then prices remain very stubble, even if demand is starting to wobble. So this is the very annoying version of 2026. Low volume, low supply, buyers competing for whatever scraps are out there. The TikTok real estate doomers will get even louder with their crazy predictions and calls for the market, even though nothing that they say makes any actual sense. So here's why all of this matters. The Bay Area still sits at 40 to 50% below normal inventory in many counties. That's insane. Even a small uptick changes everything. Days on market, competition, offer prices, and buyer psychology. So if you're thinking about buying in 2026, this is the #1 thing to pay closest attention to. Inventory tells you everything about the vibe of the market. If it rises, you get breathing room. If it doesn't, get ready to fight because those bidding wars are going to start all over again. And then there's number 3, the one that everybody forgets about until their coworker shows up in a brand new Tesla, the tech wealth cycle. This is your IPOs, your RSUs, your bonuses, your late stage raises, all the stuff that magically makes down payments appear and everyone get wealthy overnight. So 2026 has a pipeline of IPO ready companies: Stripe, Databricks, Plaid, Rippling, Anthropic's downstream partners. VC funding has finally thawed and re-entered the market, and late-stage valuations are stabilizing. Mergers and acquisitions activity is picking up sharply, and employees sitting on vested stock are looking to diversify. Historically, Bay Area real estate will jump 6 to 12 months after major liquidity events. People get paid, and then eventually they buy houses, and that is somehow because it's written somewhere in a Silicon Valley playbook. So when you hear about IPOs, big raises, big funding rounds, just just know that that is a sign of things to come for the housing market. Okay, so those are the three things. Now, what should you do with this information? Here's the playbook if you actually want to buy in 2026. First thing is to clear up your financials now. Do not wait until spring. Your income docs, your RSUs, and clarification around all of it, your crypto portfolio, K1s, all of it. Have somebody professional and smart look at it, and so that everything is clear when it comes to your buying picture. Get pre-underwritten, of course, and not just pre-approved. This goes without saying, but it's really the cheat code against other buyers, particularly in a very competitive market like this. Having a fully underwritten file and the ability to close in 14 or 15 days can almost, not quite, but almost put you on par with a cash buyer. Watch mortgage spreads, not rates. Professionals track the 10-year treasury and the spreads. Everybody else gets emotional on TikTok. So make sure you follow my Instagram channel for more information on that, because I track this stuff weekly and break it down for everyone. And lastly, build a price target and not a guess. You need to know what neighborhoods and what price points are interesting to you and where you would actually like to take action before the market wakes up. Okay, guys, so 2026 is going to reward one type of buyer, and that is the one that prepares, and prepares early. The Bay Area doesn't wait for anyone, and it definitely doesn't reward hesitation. But if you understand the AI hiring wave, the inventory shock, and the tech wealth cycle, you're going to be ahead of 95% of this market. No joke. No, I'm serious here, guys. If you want to own here, don't try to time perfection. Time preparation. And if you need help getting positioned, reach out and let my team help you with this. This is what we do. We know how to navigate in this market, but more importantly, we know how to win. Let's make 2026 your year. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you found this video useful, and bring on 2026.